What is freedom of speech? Do we have freedom of speech? Do people in China have freedom of speech? Well, the answer is really complicated, so it's yes and no. In China, you do have freedom of speech as long as it's not against the CCP narrative, the government, the dictator or president of Xi Jinping. But you can have freedom of speech, and the newspapers like Global Times and China Daily would quite often have some cartoons like this saying that China is bad and America is, what can I say, China is good and America is bad. It would never be the other way round. And certainly they wouldn't show anything like this. This would be strictly not allowed. In the United Kingdom, if I want to say I don't like or can't stand King Charles III or his wife Camilla Parker Bowles, etc., I have the freedom to do so, and I can express my own opinion. In China, you can't do that. In Thailand, you cannot express anything, absolutely anything to do with the royal family. It's strictly taboo. You will go to prison for it. And you could say the same in different parts of the world, especially in Asia. In Vietnam, for example, you wouldn't really criticize the government because they are communist, but it is a more open society and there's very few restrictions. But I think in Vietnam it's still illegal to be homosexual. I'm not too sure on that, but I am going off topic. So can you see, it's not total freedom for everyone, and it's just a different narrative. It's a different directive. So the Chinese people, no, they can't say, I hate Xi Jinping. But you can say in the United States, I really dislike or I hate Joe Biden. So what are the two differences between the countries? Well, both of them have been globe hopping a little bit, and this is what Xi has been up to, President Xi, dictator Xi Jinping, been up to lately, talking to his allies like one in Iran. And there are some talks that he's been in contact with President Putin related to some Chinese military kind of stuff that may be like ammunition, may be exported to Russia because they're running low on those kind of things, which is sort of strange. But would the Russian army want made in China kind of weapons, which seem to backfire sometimes? But they've been having some chats over the phone, Skype, and some private visits like this. Meanwhile, Joe Biden, President of the United States of America, well, let's just say Joe Biden, did go and visit the President of the Ukraine yesterday.
Morning, Mr. President. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming.
More importantly, how are the children? Good. Amazing to see you. I got a handshake here too.
That is.
Well, still teaching.
Like most people around the world, we hope the situation in Ukraine does come to an end eventually, in a couple of days' time. it will be the 1 year anniversary, and Putin, for sure, because he likes these kind of celebrations or anniversaries, possibly may do a big push. We really don't know. But the freedom of speech, you do have people, the majority of people, saying that Putin is wrong and Ukraine is correct. But there are people on the internet like the Duran, which is a really strange name to name your channel after Simon Le Bon and Duran Duran, you know, the guys who sung The Living Daylights. Was it The Living Daylights or View to a Kill? And another one in Thailand, an American guy, talking about everything is bad about America, it's a proxy war, everything related to the NED, blah, 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 blah. They go on like that for hours and hours and hours, but they're not real experts. So who are we going to believe? These Muppets, or are we going to believe people from Sky News who are actually military experts and seem to do a sort of better informatic journey? Let's have a...
Yes, Mark, it's certainly a diplomatic coup. The security is interesting. It will have been pretty massive. Even as we speak, there's quite a lot of American air activity going on along the Polish-Ukrainian border, which is what you'd expect. So well done to American security for creating this. But there's some diplomatic choreography going on here, because this is Biden going to Ukraine on Monday. We thought he might go tomorrow when he's due in Poland, but no, he's gone today. Tomorrow, President Putin gives his State of the Nation address, and later in the week, the Chinese go to Moscow, and the Chinese will launch their own peace plan for the conflict. So all three big powers are making big statements.
Again, can you see the freedom of speech? I am waffling on a little bit, and let me just show you some other things related to Bitcoin, free gorges, and again, their freedom of speech of what's happened with the damn Bitcoin cracks, etc., over the last 3 years.
Since the construction of the Three Gorges Dam, you have had a lot less rain, a lot more drought. You have had landslides, mudslide, and of course, it's also because of the weight of the dam. It actually causes seismic shifting, so earthquake. So there is also a rise of waterborne diseases, decline in biodiversity, which is very important, because when you have more biodiversity, that is the whole ecosystem. Lack of biodiversity, when the plants are dead, the ground cannot absorb the water as well, because when the microbes die, they produce a waxy substance on the surface, forcing the ground to be like impermeable crust. And of course, high electricity costs. A dam is not renewable as well. As much as people think that water power is free, it's not free at all. So it was such a lie to tell people that if we have this dam, you're going to have free electricity. What nonsense. So it reduces the water flow to others. So when you have tried to fill up the dam at the upper stream, the downstream people get no water. So it actually alters weather patterns.
At the beginning, when they did the feasibility study, they did about like 10 years or something like that, supposedly. And during the feasibility study, the main scientist, they actually all declined. They said that's going to be a disaster. We can't do that. This is going to be a origin of the disaster for the rest of our lives, for the whole Chinese race. And then you know what happened? Li Peng's family, Li Peng, get very sneaky. Li Peng get permitted. He won the job because he was the prime minister. So he got a new bunch of scientists and ordered them to change the figure so the whole project can go ahead. That was a real story. We used to read that stuff on the internet when we come out. When we were in China, we don't know about this.
That is all I got time for today. Thank you so much for your time. One thing that I can never give back. The like, subscribe, and to comment and to share this is absolutely essential. And that's the minimum I ask from all of you here who may be watching. And if you do want to, in any way, shape or form, through Super Thanks, through membership or through Patreon, you can support me financially. The money doesn't go to my back pocket. It actually goes to support our cutie cat Pickle, who is now 5 months old. God bless, be well. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.